On apprend aujourd'hui.
Today we learned that Beijing worked to punish a family member of a parliamentarian here in this House for a vote. And the intelligence organization of the government was aware of this for 2 years, but the Prime Minister didn't tell the member in question. It was a diplomat who is still on the website of the Chinese consulate in Toronto. Why? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, it is absolutely unacceptable to see anyone being intimidated, especially a member of Parliament in this House. And we are following up on this matter on the report published today. I asked different security experts to monitor the situation. This is something, obviously, that we need to take seriously, and that's what we're doing. Thank you. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Can't vote in the interests of Canada while their family members are threatened as a consequence of those votes. It is unacceptable, as the Prime Minister said, which is why it's so strange that he accepted it. Right. His government produced a briefing note which exposed these threats to the MP's family 2 years ago. And yet the diplomat that worked to punish a Canadian MP's family is still in Canada when the Prime Minister could have expelled him. Why didn't he expel this diplomat?
Yeah! Right Honourable Prime Minister.
It is absolutely unacceptable for any Canadian to be subject to intimidation via foreign power, particularly threats against family and against families of members of Parliament. That's why, as the reports came out this morning, I immediately asked officials to follow up on these reports and to get to the bottom of this. I also asked for outreach both on the political and the official side to the member in question. We are going to continue to make sure this is taken extremely seriously.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Well, that's just false. He didn't immediately take action. He took action after the media found out about it.
That's right.
His government has known that a Canadian MP had his family threatened because that MP voted for human rights in the House of Commons. He knew about that for 2 years. He did exactly nothing. Furthermore, the same diplomat that orchestrated these threats against the MP's family still works in the Toronto consulate of Beijing, even though the Prime Minister has the power to expel him. Will he expel him today?
Yeah. Right Honourable Prime Minister.
As the reports were made public this morning, we followed up immediately with top officials to get all the information on this file, on what happened, on who was informed and who was not informed, to make sure that we are following up in an appropriate way. This is absolutely unacceptable, and it shouldn't have happened.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
And yet he did accept it for 2 years. The same briefing note indicated 2 years ago that Beijing saw Canada as uniquely vulnerable to its interference because we have no foreign interference laws to stop them. The same laws that exist in the United States and Australia to force those paid by foreign dictatorships to register are not in existence here in Canada. Now, the CSIS warned him about this in the summer of 2021. On what date will we get a foreign influence registry to protect Canadians against these abuses?
Yeah. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
As a government, we've put in place many mechanisms to ensure that Canadians and our institutions are protected from foreign interference, and we are continuing to step up to add more. We brought in NSICOP, it's an oversight committee of parliamentarians. We brought in NSIRA. We created an elections integrity committee composed of top civil servants, and we are right now looking to establish a foreign agent registry, making sure through consultations with potentially impacted communities that it's done the right way. That's what we will continue to do to keep Canadians safe.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
More administrative and bureaucratic mumbo-jumbo to conceal his inaction. It is now required that you register if you lobby for the food bank, but it is not required to register if you do paid work on behalf of a foreign dictatorship to influence Canadian politics. But let's move over to police stations. His public safety minister claimed that all Beijing's police stations have been closed. Today, 2 of those police stations reportedly said, no, they're open, they're operating right here in Canada. Why is the Prime Minister allowing a foreign dictatorship to run police stations on our soil?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
You know, the RCMP is taking action against these foreign police stations. This is something we need to see, and I've tasked the minister to make sure that it gets done.